Over the last day or so, ever since the shooting in Pennsylvania with Donald Trump, a bullet grazing him, if that's what really happened, more on that in a few minutes, but I've been getting a lot of calls from me to condemn what happened in Pennsylvania. And I've been searching my soul how to say this, honestly, because of a lot of reasons I can't do it. I don't condone what happened, but I'm not going to condemn what happened either. And before all the MAGA out there want to try to paint this as some kind of threat or anything else like that, before they try to twist my words around, before they try to make up some BS like they already have over the last 24 hours since the shooting happened in Pennsylvania, I want to make one thing very clear. I don't support what happened, and I am definitely not happy that it happened. I'm not happy that a former president of the United States had shots ringed out against him, that someone tried to actually kill him. I am not happy about it, and I do not support it at all. Yeah, I made my feelings very clear about Donald Trump. I hate the son of a bitch. The man is perhaps one of the worst people that has ever been president of the United States in American history. This guy is so antithetical to what America is supposed to be that he's got an entire army of people willing to fight and die for the man and kill for the man. The fact of the matter is this: I don't like him. I'm going to vote against him in the next election. I'm going to vote against his son, Barron Trump, if he decides to run. I'm going to vote against every one of the Trump family, and especially every MAGA that for the last 8 years has shown no respect for this country, has made every possible excuse for the man. This guy has shown him to be anti-constitutional. This man has shown himself to be anti-American. And the MAGA smile and wave, hoping that somehow their loyalty will be rewarded somehow. All that being said, I have never, ever, ever called for violence against his family, against his supporters, in and out of Congress or the Senate. I have never called for violence against Donald Trump personally. I have never done that. And I won't do that. What I have said over and over again is that I want Donald Trump in prison for the laws he has broken in this country. Law and order, remember? I have said I want Donald Trump in prison for the laws he's broken. And we all know the laws he has. He is the first president to become a convicted felon. That's not something to be proud of. That is definitely not something to be proud of if you're the MAGA. I would be embarrassed if my president was a convicted felon, if the man I support was a convicted felon. I would be straight up 100% embarrassed. But you Trumpers want to make this guy into some kind of saint or some kind of Jesus Christ figure, which he is not. 1 second. Keep myself hydrated. I would be embarrassed for that. I would be embarrassed for the lengths he had to go through just to stay relevant. The lengths he's gone to try to become president of the United States again. I'd be embarrassed. And you MAGA obviously aren't. I'm getting a little off track because honestly, I'm not condemning what happened. I don't condone it, mind you, but I'm not going to condemn it. Why? for some major, major, major reasons. One of those reasons is that for 8 straight years, this guy has fanned the flames of violence in this country. And he keeps doing it now as a candidate for president, calling for bloodbaths if he doesn't get reelected, calling him wanting to become a dictator if he does get elected, supporting Project 2025. And yes, you do, Trump. You do support Project 2025, regardless of how many times you just want to try to find a way to condemn it or try to distance yourself away from it. It's not going to work, honey cake. We know you support it. For 8 straight years, this guy and his people, the MAGA, have been throwing violent threats against us in this country. Over and over again. It's like a tape that just keeps playing over and over again. If Donald Trump doesn't get elected, I want violence. If Donald Trump doesn't get kicked off the ballot, there's going to be violence. If Donald Trump gets convicted of any of the trials, which he did in New York, there's going to be violence. So why should I condone an act of violence because it's against Donald Trump? Now, I am sorry that this happened. My family's generation, my parents, my grandparents, they went through the nightmare of the 60s, especially the Kennedy assassination, John F. Kennedy, Robert Kennedy Sr., the assassinations of Malcolm X and Martin Luther King. We don't want that in my generation. I never want to see that. Regardless if it's Joe Biden or Barack Obama or even especially Donald Trump. Let me make it clear again. I have never called for violence against Donald Trump or his family or his supporters. I have never called for violence against them. But a lot of people, a lot of Trump supporters have called for violence against me and my family. And they're still doing it now, trying to convince everyone that I had something to do with this shooting. And yes, you know exactly who you are. Trying to say that I was involved in the shooting in Pennsylvania. I'm going to reiterate this. None of that is true. I had nothing to do with that shooting. Nor do I wish to be the man behind the gun. So whoever is telling you this, whoever is actually posting all this, know now that is a straight up motherfucking lie. Make no mistake about that. They are lying to you if they are saying that I had something to do with the shooting. One moment. I gotta keep myself hydrated. And the second reason why I can't condemn this shooting is because for 8 years we've seen nothing but violence from the MAGA. Mass shooting after mass shooting after mass shooting, and nothing but silence from the MAGA. During Donald Trump's presidency, mass shooting after mass shooting, and nothing from the MAGA. The Parkland school shooting in Florida, nothing from the MAGA, nothing from Trump. And the only thing we saw from the MAGA is that idiotic bitch Marjorie Taylor Greene harassing a survivor, because he wants the mass shootings to stop, especially in schools. What sane person would actually harass a survivor of a mass shooting just to support Donald Trump? Just because your guns are more important than the lives of kids? Do I need to tell you about the Tree of Life synagogue? Nothing from Trump. All these Republicans screaming, support Israel? I guess that means support Israel when it comes to Benjamin Netanyahu, right? Not the Israelites, Israeli Americans who were massacred in a synagogue because of one of Donald Trump's true believers killing innocent people, Guess they don't matter. Nothing from the MAGA, nothing from Trump. He didn't condemn the violence, although it was one of his people who did the violence. And mass shooting after mass shooting, terrorist attack after terrorist attack. How about the El Paso Walmart shooting? After weeks of rhetoric of replacement theory spread by one of Donald Trump's truest believers, there's Tucker Carlson, dozens of people massacred. Nothing from Trump, nothing from the MAGA. So why exactly should I condemn what happened in Pittsburgh? What happened in Pennsylvania? Give me a reason why. Because I'm supposed to be a decent American? Donald Trump isn't a decent American, but yet you guys want me to make excuses for him? It's hot out here. You want me to make excuses for Donald Trump? Not gonna happen. And let's not forget January 6th, where Donald Trump screamed, "Fight like hell," to a bunch of amped up Donald Trump supporters, and you really believe that that wasn't going to provoke what we saw on January 6th, regardless of how many times you want to say it's all Nancy Pelosi's fault, it's all Nancy Pelosi's fault. We both know whose fault it was. It was the fault of Donald Trump. And for 187 minutes, he refused to do anything about it. Oh, but he did say something about it, didn't he? He called Mike Pence a coward, saying that he could have stolen the election for him. Excuse me. And that tweet was read out loud during the attack. And Donald Trump let the attack continue. While police officers, the very police officers you say, back the blue, back the blue. You fly that blue wall, that blue line American flag high. But I guess that doesn't apply to the Capitol police officers that your boy let get attacked. And you're expecting me to condemn a shooting like this? Now, I'm going to get into the conspiracy theory of this not being real and everything, because honestly, I don't think it was, honestly. I think this whole thing was a stunt to try to get political support back to Trump. And it was a stupid one because it backfired in the worst possible way. You expected Joe Biden to celebrate. He didn't. He actually called Donald Trump to see if it was okay. He made a statement saying that this was unacceptable. He's a better man than I am. He is 100% a better man than I can ever hope to be. Because if it were up to me personally, I wouldn't call the son of a bitch. And if I did, I would tell him, you brought this on yourself, because that's the truth. Donald Trump has been pushing this kind of violence for 8 years. And now that it's come back on him, you expect me to feel some kind of sympathy? I feel sorry for the fact that you were put through this shit. I would have a little bit more sympathy 4 years ago if January 6th didn't happen. I would have more sympathy if we had acted like a president, like a human being, instead of some psychopath who wants power for himself saying, "Daddy, Daddy, look at me, I'm a president, Daddy." That's all it is. That is all it is. I'm using my voice too much. But the real reason why I'm not going to condemn this shooting is because from day one, for the last 8 years, I've gotten nothing but straight up threats against me and my family. For the last 24 hours, people have been posting about me, saying that I had something to do with the shooting, trying to say that I planned it, I did it, it was me, or people saying that I'm happy that it happened. So I'm supposed to condemn the shooting after the bullshit you people have put me through? Not gonna happen. You put yourselves through this whole thing. And that's the reason why I'm not condemning this shooting. Now I don't condone violence in this country. Because quite honestly, again, we shouldn't be having to go through this. We as Americans shouldn't have to go through this. This couldn't have happened. This should have happened. This shouldn't have happened at all. But when you push a person, when you push people too far, something is going to break. And something did break. Now, I'm not happy that he did. But the fact is this. This was goddamn inevitable. I'm sorry, but that's the truth. Now, I didn't know this was going to happen, and I am so sorry it did. But I'm not going to shed tears for a man who has the support of people who would do this to Obama, who would do the exact same thing to Biden if they had a chance. And you know exactly who you people are. All right, my final thought is this. Donald Trump, now, I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories as to this actually being just a work, that this was just a publicity stunt for Trump. I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories about that, but it feels all too damn obvious when you look at the video and you look at the photos. But we're being played, plain simple. We're being played because Trump is so incredibly desperate to get back in office. He doesn't have any ideas on how to fix this country. He just wants the prestige of being president. And his supporters who are threatening me and threatening my family. Watch what you're saying about me. You have no evidence that I have anything to do with this shooting, nor do you have evidence that I did anything to support it. The true matter of the fact of all of this is that you have nothing. You've been so brainwashed by this guy that all it is for you, all of this for you is a game. It's a sick, twisted game you guys are trying to play on me and play on this country. And now the game is over. If you honestly think that this is going to help Donald Trump, think again. All this shows is how desperate his supporters are to get him back into the White House. They probably planned this whole thing themselves. Again, I'm not getting into conspiracy theories. To end this video, I don't condone what happened, but I'm not going to condemn it either. After the shit you people have put me and put my family through, put this country through, you expect some sort of sympathy from me? Hell no. You want to feel sorry for someone? You want me to feel sorry for someone? Feel sorry for the people at that rally who had to witness something that should have been left to the history books. Something that people like my family witnessed on television. Seeing John F. Kennedy murdered. Seeing R.F. Kennedy shot. Seeing what happened to this country after Martin Luther King was killed. Seeing what happened after Malcolm X was killed. That's who I feel sorry for. That is where my sympathies lie. But when it comes to Trump, not going to happen. Now, you can try to twist my words all you want, because that's exactly what you people are going to do. You can try to mimic this video, do some AI stuff with it, try it, and see where it lands you. Into a puddle of lies, and your reputation's destroyed. I feel sorry that this happened, but I don't feel a bit of sympathy for Donald Trump. Call me what you want. I've been called a whole lot of names over the last 8 years. But the one thing I haven't been called is a liar, or a criminal, or a killer. I leave that up to Donald Trump and his supporters, because it's going to happen. Remember Project 2025. He gets elected. more bodies are going to hit the streets for no reason at all. This didn't have to happen, but Donald Trump made it happen. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.